Hello, let us continue our discussion on hawk roosting by Ted Hughes. In my previous lecture, I have mentioned that how the hawk is actually indicating different kinds of power politics that has been in work. And we have found towards the last section of our discussion that it took the whole of creation to produce my food, my each feather. And now, as an irony, you see, I hold creation in my food. It continues in this fashion that or I fly up and revolve it all slowly. So ultimately, you will find it is a kind of a relative movement that has been indicated. It is not that the earth is being moved by the hawk's movement. Rather, the hawk is moving and the earth is still there. But ultimately, whenever you are enjoying power, whenever you are enjoying the position, you consider that each and every person, he is living just because you want them to live. So that is the relative measurement that you consider yourself. The persons like Mussolini or Hitler, the persons like the colonialist, the person like a bourgeois capitalist or maybe an imperialist. Everywhere you will find that they are controlling or they're considering themselves as the God, quote unquote God, you see, that I am the active participant and other persons are passive. I want them to live, so they are living. I will control them. Here also the same kind of indication is there. It says, or fly up and revolve it all slowly. I kill where I please, because it is all mine. Say, the proprietorship that is being in work. Everything is mine. That the whole world is mine. The society is mine. The people are mine. So ultimately, I am the destiny. So I kill where I please because it is all mine. There is no sophistry in my body. My manners are tearing of heads. So that is the manner everywhere you see. That I don't consider any sophistry in my body. There is no sophistry. There is no particular kind of a balance there. My manners are tearing off heads. So whenever I want them to kill, I do it easily in the form of quote unquote taxation, in the form of quote unquote, different kinds of rules and regulations, in the form of quote unquote different kinds of say permissions and so. So these have to be given by a patriarch. These have to be given by a colonist. These have to be given by a capitalist. So everywhere you will find my manners are tearing off heads. So if I consider you should do this, you should not do this. So ultimately, do you not think that the tearing of heads of killing people emotionally, morally, psychologically, and spiritually, everywhere you will find that the different kinds of killing is in work. So in similar, a particular line in a kind of a refrain was found in Murder in the Cathedral by T.S. Eliot. There also we could find a particular line like living and poetry living. The people are living in this particular fashion. It is the typical Eliotian, say, death in life existence where the people are. And this manner are tearing of heads, you will find it is a kind of a practice. Whether it is an ill practice and malpractice, you could understand. But ultimately, it is being in work within this particular form of society. So the powerful is always exploiting the powerless. And it is a kind of the allotment of death that you can find in the next slide. So my manners are tearing of heads, the allotment of death. So I am the allotter. I am the person, okay? I am the person who is enjoying all power, all energy. That is being indicated here. For the one path of my flight is direct through the bones of the living. No arguments assert my right, because it is my movement. It is my, you see, the way through which I must move. I will found the construction. I will found my palace. It might be possible that the palace will be structured from the blood of the ordinary people, from the bones of the ordinary people. But this is the process, you see. You see, the typical Nietzschean, Übermensch, and the particular concept of collateral damage is always there. That means if I have to succeed, you will find the similar kind of thing is in war. Whenever we will find the war is going on. Remember, it is written just after the Second World War. So ultimately, whenever you are projecting something, you want to get something, okay, and you are trying to assert something, then there are ample collateral damages. The ordinary normal people must die, because for the betterment of a particular concept, right, some collateral damages must come. So the one path of my flight is direct to the bones of the living. I don't consider any kind of argument. I don't want you to say something about what is to be done and what is not to, because everything will be done by me. It is the decree that I should give. So that it is the allotment of death that I must give. It is the collateral damage that the people must face. So the allotment of death for the one path of my flight is direct through the bones of the living, and no arguments assert my right. I know the sun is behind me. So there are ample references, there are ample meanings. You see, a number of meanings can be associated with this particular line. The sun is behind me. If we consider that the sun is actually incorporating power, then ultimately you will find that the power is behind me. Is it signifying that the power is backing me? Is it signifying that I am getting help from the power? Or rather, I have crossed the power because I am the most powerful personality of this world. So everywhere the sun is behind me, it can also signify that the sun is helping me in my attributes. The power is helping me in my attributes, or rather the power, the most powerful, is now comes second because I am the first one. The sun is behind me. And you see that it is the process. Why? Nothing has changed since I began. So say 105 or 1500 years ago, you will find the same kind of thing was there, the power politics, and when the powerful is exploiting the powerless. The same, obviously in a different way, in a different outlook, the same is in work here also in the present scenario. So nothing has changed since I began. The people must go, the people must come. Okay, people comes and people goes. But everywhere you will find the same kind of exploitation, the same kind of problem is actually residing within this society. So nothing has changed since I began. And then it says, my eye has permitted no change. Okay, because I am the most powerful personality, and I don't consider that the way we actually live, it must have to be changed. I don't consider that. So my eye has permitted no change. I am going to keep things like this. That means this is the process. This is the way how people behaved in the ancient times. This is the way how people actually lived in the ancient times. This is the way the people are actually living in the present times. And this will be the way how people will be living in the future. So I am going to keep things like this. So that is the fundamental focus of this particular poem. Ultimately, you will find that the primary focus of this poem, or the questions that may arise from this particular poem, that do you consider that Hawk Roosting is a poem of power politics? Or can you implicate any societal perspectives to be questioned, problematized, and indicated in this particular poem? That is Hawk Roosting. Make a critical appreciation of this particular poem. So today up to this. Thank you then.